Hello, fellow YouTubers, Carlos23 here, doing the final episode of Banlist Selections. Now, of course, the reason why it's the final episode of Banlist Selections, at least until the next Banlist season, is that the OCG list has been confirmed, and 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10, the list is the exact same as the TCG. Now, the list that was confirmed, of course, was the list I did last week. So now we're going to talk about this list in a little more in depth and what we might see in the next format. So let's get on with it. Forbidden, Bryonic, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, and Future Fusion. Now Bryonic was I'm a little iffy on Bryonic being banned. I mean, it's banned, so it's banned. But I'm half and half, of course, as I said before. It was just too good of a card. I mean, it wasn't being used, but it was a really good card. With very little requirement and 2300 attack, it's a beast. I heard that, I think it was like an archetype that something like Mermill really broke Bryonic, and that's why they might have banned it. Others say that, it's because Konami has the whole, it's a synchro, so it should be banned, so we can get Exceeds out there. That could be it. Either one of the two. Either way, it's banned. The next is Future Fusion, and Future Fusion just really is a stupid card. It was either a Foolish Burial on crack or a painful choice, basically. Where you, instead of getting a monster to your hand, you get a giant beat stick. There really isn't much to say about Future Fusion, as it was just too good of a card, and for the longest time it needed to be banned, and now that, since Dragons got big, it had to go. For limited, we have Insector Dragonfly and Insector Hornet. Again, I do believe that the Hornet could have stayed, and just the Dragonfly should have been hit to 1. That would have, the deck would have been still at least a little bit more consistent, but now it's not. The deck is believed to be dead, and I can see why people are saying that. You could have at least, if you were to, say, ban the Hornet, it would have gotten rid of the destructive power, but you still could have had, the Dragonfly to really go all out. But of course, the best choice is the Dragonfly. But to hit both was a little too extreme. Ivagishki Gush Kraken, the reason why it was hit was, of course, it's a good level 6, so you can go into rank 6s, which are pretty good right now, as well as the ability with the Gishkis, you get a card in your opponent's hand, back to their deck, and then you can just do this recycling thing where you keep getting that Ivagishki Gush Kraken from your graveyard and ritual summoning it to get rid of your opponent's hand. And of course, we don't want that. Hand destructions are just no good in this game. They're not fun. Next we have Chaos Sorcerer. It's a little weird with Chaos Sorcerer since Blacklisted Soldier is still at 1. But I guess they don't really want Chaos to have too much of power. That's really all you can really say about that. Blacklisted Soldier really could have been banned. It really is too good of a card, but oh well. Spore, it's nice to see it that we got this Planet Engine back. I believe planets were hit way too hard last list, and we finally got, planets finally got something else to really go on. Though I am afraid that, synchros may not be as good as they used to be, because they're getting rid of all the best synchros. Wind Up Curious Zenmaity. Of course, as you know, in my last video and my first video, they really honestly did not need to hit Zenmaity. They really should have hit Hunter, but a lot of people are saying wind-ups are dead, wind-ups are dead. I don't think wind-ups are dead. They just lost the ability to kill you in one turn. They still are able to summon rank 3s, rank 5s, and rank 4s really easily. They just don't have the destructive power, or I'm sorry, the summoning power to just summon them all at once in one turn. We still have 3 Zen mains. It'll work out. I think that wind-ups could probably be played even better now that Zenmaity is gone. Is going to 1. Now we have the ability to just hold on to our cards and not go off just all at once. Tsukuyomi, it's cool to see another card taken off the list and given to us. Tsukuyomi is like that Book of Moon. You summon her, you put something face down, It can be used as a Book of Moon for flip effect monsters. We don't really use flip effect monsters really anymore. We sometimes will use Raikou, but that's about it. And Morphing Jar, but that's really just for the dice jar or the jar deck. That's not really important. But what it really is main for, or used main for, is you summon it. You put one of your opponent's big monsters face down, and you can attack over it. And Tsukuyomi, of course, being a spirit, goes back to your hand, which is really nice. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon is the next card. Dragons needed to be hit. I would have rathered Light Pulsar Dragon to be hit. That's only because my fiance plays them. But again, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon was a stupid card. Laughable requirements for summoning, and it was hard to get over sometimes. So now that Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon is at 1, I'm happy that it's at 1, but at the same time I feel bad for the fiance, but what can we do? And Ultimate Offering, of course, Ultimate Offering is there. I believe it's kind of like the Breaker the Magical Warrior, like we had lists before, where it was banned, came off the list, banned, came off the list. This guy is moving around to different spots. I do believe it's gadgets and the gears, not ancient gears, but I believe they're Gear Grotto, something like that. That's what's causing this card to go to 1. Semi-limit, Agent of Mystery Earth. It's nice to see agents get more power. They need that tuner. They need more searcher, or the searcher. Sorry. It's sad that they didn't put it to 3, but of course they do not want to promote synchros, so they at least gave it to 2. This of course will make the deck more powerful. Debris Dragon, again, plant engine. It's coming back. Glad to see it. I don't think plants will be able to be run like they used to be, but we're still getting stuff. Blackwing Collude the Moonshadow. Blackwings were screwed over. They were killed. It was a deck that I never really liked before. But now Blackwings might be a little bit better. They're not as consistent. They do not have the search engine still. 2 more than 1. But we'll see what Blackwings can do, because now they have 2 Honests. Rescue Rabbit. They hit Dino Rabbit with Rescue Rabbit. It's a little iffy. They didn't really do much to Dino Rabbit, which is kind of saddening, because it was pretty much the best deck in the format. But of course, getting Rescue Rabbit to 2, it hits the consistency a little. Emergency Call and a Hero Lives, I'm just going to put together. That's all they did to hit Heroes, was hit the Emergency Call to 2, and Hero Lives to 2. That's it. There's nothing really much to say. Pot of Duality at 2, it's kind of weird because all the best decks didn't run it. All the decks that needed it to become better decks ran it. And so they brought it to 2, which is kind of weird. It doesn't hit Pot of Duality all that much because you can use it at 2. It doesn't hurt the decks really that much. So, I run it at 2. I'm perfectly fine with this. Heretic Seal of Convocation. There was the Heretic Dragons and Chaos Dragons, so they wanted to hit the Heretics, and, there's that Gustav Max. It's not impossible to use now. It's just going to be a little bit harder to use meta-wise. Let's see what we got here. Reasoning. Reasoning is a card. I'm fine with it going to 2. It was good in 6 Samurais back in the day, and we do have 6 Samurais, so with Reasoning at 2, maybe they'll come back. Because, they really want to push 6 Samurais because they brought out that structure deck. They brought Xian to 2. It's going to be a very easy deck to make, so it may be a deck that could be used in the meta to come. And Reasoning just might make it a little bit better. Mirror Force. I'm a little weirded out by Mirror Force. They killed 3 of the swarming abilities, and then they gave us Mirror Force. So it's kind of weird. We should have had 2 Mirror Forces before, rather than getting it now when they're all dead pretty much. That's really all I got to say. It's kind of weird to have Mirror Force at 2. Will I use Mirror Force at 2? Probably not. I will use Torrential Tribute at 2. And Tour Guide of the Underworld is the final card. Again, they hit Dino Rabbit with Tour Guide. Tour Guide is less consistent now because she could grab Sangan before, but now she doesn't have that second card to grab. If people do use Tour Guide, I expect people to be using Tour Bus of the Underworld, so expect a raise in price. And the cards that are no longer restricted, we have Necro Gardener. Now, Light Sworns are a very playable deck. With Necro Gardener coming at 3 now, you can protect your monsters. They're not as good as they used to be, but Light Sworns could be a contender for the next format. Marshmallow, Stallburn, I absolutely hate Stallburn, but Marshmallow isn't doing anything. It's like Spirit Reaper. Spirit Reaper's at 3. Might as well put it at 3. Emergency Teleport. Now we have an Emergency Teleport engine. We might see that in play. We might see Psychics. I don't know. Psychics aren't exactly top tier, I would say. But you never know unless it is tried. So you never know. We may see some Psychics in the future. Destiny Draw. With Malicious at 2 still, I do not see a Destiny Draw engine all too much. But of course, we can't really put Malicious at 2 because people will be starting to think E-Teleport's at 2, Destiny Draw's at 2, Malicious would be at 3, Teledad all over again. So perhaps maybe if they do bring Malicious to 3, they would have to ban Dark Arm Dragon, but I kind of doubt that because we don't Synchro Summon as much as we used to. Swords of Revealing Light is a stall card. I don't really like stall cards, but again, nobody was using it, so why not bump it to 3? Level 11 Area B, I find it's perfect to go to 3. People don't use Synchros. They don't really use levels as much anymore. With Exceeds, their ranks and level 11 Area B does not affect them. So again, just go ahead, put level 11 Area B to 3. And the last card, Magic Cylinder at 3. Of course, I don't like Burn. I find it's very unfair. Well, not unfair. There are a lot worse decks out there, but it's just not really fun to play against Burn. But Magic Cylinder is one of those cards that you could just tech in and go for a game just by opponent attacking, thinking it's a Mirror Force. So Magic Cylinder at 3, I am perfectly cool with that kind of aspect. So that's the list. What do I think is going to be in the next format? I think Dino Rabbit is still a playable deck. They only lost 1 Rabbit. They only lost 1 Tour Guide. And Tour Bus can go in instead of a Tour Guide. For the Rescue Rabbit, you just got to find something else to make it a little more consistent. Maybe another draw card. Who knows? Heroes. I think Heroes are going to be a really huge contender in this. They only lost 2 cards. That really doesn't hurt them all that much. And now they have Escarado. I believe that's what you call it. The Dark Hero. So it has a lot more playability. I do believe Heroes are going to be top tier. As I said, Psychics might come in because we do have the Psychic engine with the Emergency Teleport. Sure, we may not tune as much as we used to, but you never know. Maybe it'll happen. And I think we may see agents. I kind of doubt it though. Maybe some sort of Chaos Agent variant. Again, not sure, but I think the last one is going to be Light Sworns, as Light Sworns are just getting better and better as the lists progress, and maybe Six Samurais. I think those will be the top contenders in the next format. Hopefully we will have a good format. I do love this list. It is a very good list. So let's all be happy. I know Blackluster Soldier wasn't banned, guys. Not very fun to play against it, but it's 1 card. It's 1 card. We don't have to worry about Insectors anymore. And, and we don't have to worry about the Wind Up Loop anymore. Or Chaos Dragons. So come on, let's be happy. Have a good list. Have a good format. We'll see you guys later. Kratos123, signing out for you guys.